Molly, welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm sharing with you the essential spices you should have at home in your kitchen. Everyone doesn't need to have tons of spices in their kitchen, although you can if you want. I have a lot of spices. I have an entire drawer that I can pull out that's full of different kinds of spices. I just love them. One thing I don't have in our home is like pre-made spice blends. I make my own and it makes everything taste so much better. First off, we're not including salt as a spice. It's just something you should have in your kitchen, whether you use kosher salt, regular salt, sea salt, Himalayan salt. Just have some salt in your kitchen no matter what. Besides that, you want to have black ground pepper. Of course, your salt and pepper are so necessary. So having pepper in your kitchen is mandatory, number one. And then garlic powder is another huge staple. If you only had 4 spices in your kitchen, it should be salt, pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. That is by far the best combination. You can use it on almost everything. So important. Along with garlic powder, like I just said, onion powder is another one. I'm out currently, so we're just gonna talk about it. Onion powder is a great substitution if you don't want onion chunks in your food. Just a great choice to have on hand in case you don't want to throw an actual onion into your food. For me, I cook with a lot of fresh onion and fresh garlic, but if you don't want to do that, or there's sometimes you need a powder form, have onion and garlic powder in your home. Next up is some kind of ground cinnamon. Now I like this Saigon, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but I like to get this from Costco. It's organic, it is so good. It has a deeper flavor than an original cinnamon, but of course, you can use this in all kinds of dessert recipes. I even put it in some of our savory meals. My fajita chicken recipe, which I can leave down below in the description, is by far one of the best fajitas I've ever had, and you put it all in a crock pot, but the homemade spice is made with a little tiny bit of cinnamon, and that gives it such a leg up. Another one, which I have it in a bag, I have not transferred it over, we're running low, I need to go to the store. Besides that, another one is chili powder. I like to get a salt-free option that is organic. I get it at Sprouts in the bulk food section. A lot of health food stores have their bulk spices. They are so much cheaper. You can find organic options, and usually they're salt-free. Some chili powder does have salt in it, and you have to be mindful of that so you're not over-salting your dishes. And this is not the same as taco seasoning. This is just chili powder. So that's something a lot of people get mixed up with. They think taco seasoning and chili powder is the exact same. It is not. Pre-made packets of taco seasoning you can get at the grocery store usually have cornstarch in them, they have sugar in them, they have salt in them, and then they'll have other kinds of seasonings, but they will have some chili powder. Just skip those altogether. Trust me, it's so much cheaper, so much better for you. Just use a little bit of chili powder, salt, pepper, some garlic powder, a little cumin, and you're good to go. So chili powder is a must in your house. To go along with that, you will want to have some cumin. Now this is a great spice to have for Mexican type dishes. So whenever I make anything with tacos, anything enchilada type, I'll use chili powder and cumin together. It gives it that really good flavor you're looking for that you can get at a Mexican restaurant or in your favorite things at the grocery store. This is not something that you'll use on everything, but it is something if you have a lot of tacos, enchiladas, burritos, you're gonna wanna have this on hand. Next up is cayenne pepper. Now, if you are not a spicy food person, don't worry. Cayenne pepper is something that adds a little bit of a zest to your dishes and a little bit of color without making it super hot if you don't want to. Now, you could put a lot of cayenne pepper in your food and it's gonna make it really spicy. But if you stick to a pinch, like 1/8 of a teaspoon, it's gonna bring things to life, give it a little bit of extra flavor, and it makes the color beautiful. So cayenne pepper is one that I keep on hand all the time. You can also put this in with your chili powder and your cumin to make your taco seasoning. Most taco seasoning will have a little bit of cayenne, even if it's not spicy. Next up is smoked paprika. Now this seasoning is by far one of my favorites. It is so good. I went without this for years until I tried it and I was hooked. So there's 2 types of paprika, and I only recommend getting smoked. The regular paprika, I don't think has a ton of flavor, and I honestly just use cayenne pepper instead if I want something spicy or to have that red hue. Otherwise, I'll just use smoked paprika. It gives your meat and your soups and anything you put it on this smoked savory flavor like you just got it off of the grill. It is fantastic. I make this Alabama white chicken and Alabama white sauce. If you don't know what that is, it's a barbecue sauce that is originated down in Alabama. It's the best thing ever. And if you don't have a smoker at your house, you can imitate that naturally without any gunk with a smoked paprika powder. It is so good, and I highly recommend keeping it in your kitchen. Next up, which I'm about out, as you can see, is dried thyme leaves. Now, I like to get fresh thyme if I can. If you don't have room in your kitchen to have a little windowsill herb garden, totally fine. Or if you don't want to keep it in your fridge, that's fine as well. If you do decide to do fresh thyme, what I like to do is I'll get a ball mason jar and fill it up with water and stick the stems of the fresh thyme or herbs down in there. It lasts for 1 to 2 months if you change that water out once a week. But if you want something easier, just get dried thyme leaves. It brings any soup to life. It's something really savory that a lot of chicken dishes call for, or things that you want to lighten up. So this is something I highly recommend. Even if you just make a bunch of soups, get some thyme. Now I have one more seasoning on the list, and I could go through here and tell you guys to do so many of these spices, but I will not. I'm gonna stick to the simplest options that I would have in my kitchen if I was just starting out, or if I was just trying to build my spice rack. The last one is ground chipotle. This is amazing. I like to describe it as a great substitution for chili powder. This does not make a taco seasoning, but it makes an entire other flavor. It is fantastic. I have this amazing chicken pineapple chipotle recipe. Oh, it is my favorite. It's by far my best supper recipe I've ever developed. You put chicken and pineapple and red onions on a sheet pan. So you just plop them on there, and then you make a homemade seasoning with your chipotle seasoning and garlic and a little bit of pepper and salt. You mix it together, and then you'll put it all over, bake it, and you have sheet pan tacos within 25 minutes. And during that time, you can just go run out of the house and go for a walk. You can fold laundry, whatever you want to do. It is so necessary to have this in your home, even if you don't cook with it a lot. Just for that recipe, it's worth it. These 10 spices are super helpful to have in your home. If you were only gonna have a few spices, this is what I would tell you to get. As well as the salt, you wanna have basically 11 spices, including your salt. These seasonings are gonna give you so many options, so many flavor profiles, make your cooking at home so much better. It's gonna level it up. Don't be afraid to use seasonings. They really do make your dishes so much better. And I don't know what I would do without these 10. They are in use all the time. I think the most used ones besides salt and pepper are garlic and onion powder. And after that, it's probably the smoked paprika. We use it on everything. I'll leave a few of those recipes I talked about down in the description below. Make sure you hit that bell icon so you never miss one of my Friday uploads, and subscribe so you can join us here on the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, go cook something from scratch.